All right, to a more serious topic. Jon Moxley on new system needed to better spot concussions and protect wrestlers during matches. This one is a tough topic for me to cover. And Sid, I think, is the same way. A lot of veterans are this way. My life has changed tremendously because of concussions. I stutter. I have short term. There's a lot of a lot of symptoms for
Yeah.
having concussions.
I think
Um,
we're definitely biased in this story.
yeah. So, but here's the thing. I'm kind of on the fence. And this is why. Um, I suffer from concussions. I have a hard time remembering names, birthdays, and all that. My wife is gonna have to deal with that for the rest of her life. Um, yeah, like there's times where I'll be like, oh, I just don't know stuff. A handshake, nightmares, memory loss, dizziness, headaches. So
Or the
concussions are real,
spaghetti making.
but at the same time, we were both infantry. So a lot of times growing up, you were Army, me Marine Corps. A lot of times growing up is like, oh well, psych the fuck up, be a fucking man. And then pro wrestling kind of has that tough guy stuff. Maybe not as much as the military, but most pro wrestlers are tough guys. I mean, their
Yeah.
kryptonite is mean comments on Twitter, but most of them are
Or
pretty.
across the ring.
Yeah, most of them are pretty fucking tough. Mentally, I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. So they want to finish the matches, and what he's saying is that they should have a doctor, you know, be there and be able to stop it or not go. And I'm okay with this,
Yeah, I think
because
it's a good idea.
I don't want them not to try. I don't want them not to be warriors. I don't want all the products to be WWE. And I don't mean to pick on a company or not a company, but no matter what, pro wrestling is difficult. It's hard. And it's so easy to be extremely safe that it's like, oh, these guys ain't even fucking warriors
I
anymore.
mean, I
It's
get their worry. Like, I get why as a booker you don't love it because you don't want to potentially have your whole booking plan thwarted off a concussion. But realistically, I feel should implement just doctor stoppages for that,
well,
and it just makes sense. Like, it's better to protect the wrestlers than it is to and adapt. If you can't come up with a way to fix that story and move on when a concussion
then you're
forces
not
a
good at your
change to the
job.
finish, then yeah, you're not good enough at it, your job. Like, that's not something that should be just ruining these guys' futures and lives because you don't want to have to maybe change your endings.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. I just want to say one more thing. Kayfabe wise, you want it to be look as real as fucking possible. Dude,
Yeah, if
boxing
anything,
and
that adds
MMA,
to the
that
realism.
adds to realism. And if there's a huge upset because you're knocked out, because here's the thing: sometimes someone becomes a champion because the other person got hurt and knocked out, and you just have to adjust on the fly.
Oh my god. I can show you a great example of where this has happened and worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Monet, Willow.
Oh yeah, yeah,
An unfortunate incident that, from what I understand, Monet made the call to put Willow over in the ring once she realized she was injured rather than win. This put Willow into the spotlight in a new way and got Willow noticed by people and got, in my opinion, is a big part of why she got over in AEW and why she got to AEW.
yeah. And these warriors, the real wrestlers that fucking battle and put effort in, these warriors can go at it and still be protected. Because that's why,
Yeah.
like, UFC fighters are usually, MMA fighters are usually safer than boxers because they're in there quick to call it.
Hmm.
So, the way, and I don't think anyone's like, oh, MMA fighters are cowards. I mean, unless you're really fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Most people don't think MMA fighters are cowards, but that referee will come in and stop. And that's safer than, say, boxing and pro wrestling. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I think it's a good idea, and I don't think it takes away from pro wrestling. And I think this is a good idea because it protects the wrestlers while still not making them just Robin acrobats. You know what I mean?
The big thing is the downside of implementing it is so minimal compared to the downside of the ramifications of not implementing any change.
Yeah, because as someone who suffers from concussions, and I'm sure you're the same, it takes a lot from your life. It
And
just
not just that, but let's point out. I'll go there. Maybe I shouldn't, but I will.
go for it.
Chris Benoit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Incidents like that maybe could have been avoided entirely if concussion protocols were better at the time. And concussion protocols can still be improved. I don't think Moxley's wrong at all.
No, and also NFL and boxing has situations like that too.
Yeah.
And the thing
maybe
is,
it takes a huge lawsuit to get it, just like there.
yeah, and the
I'm
thing
pretty
is,
sure that's what got NFL, right?
kind of, yeah, yeah. There's a Will Smith movie on it, but yeah, basically, it was just like, what are you gonna do to protect your players? We're gonna protect your players.
Will Pink.
So yeah, poor Will Smith. But also, one thing I just want to correct: people like, oh, he blades all the time. He has fucking forks in his head and all that shit. You guys know that concussions are way worse than that, right?
Yeah, like way worse.
Like, I don't know. It's sometimes it feels
Fucking,
weird how
you're
uneducated
killing brain
people
connections. Like just permanently just fucking up brain connections.
Yeah.
Versus a surface level wound that I'm gonna spoil this for people. Your scalp bleeds an absurd amount. The tiniest cuts on your scalp will pour blood.
And a lot of them take Tylenol to thin the blood
scalp
too.
when I was a kid, and it was like a horror movie.
Yeah, because a lot of times too, like people, you see it all the time on YouTube or social media. Someone will be like, "Oh, this is how you blade," and then it's fucking out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because A, they don't know what they're doing, but B, it's fucking easy as fuck to make the effect. You know? Yeah. So I just think I saw a lot of uneducated comments on that. Be like, he blades. Like, that is, I mean, because to me the same connection is like he wears wrestling tights. Like, the connection's so fucking far off, it's ridiculous. So I don't know. It would be nice if AEW did it, and wrestlers could still risk being warriors while still being safe. Because if you don't have a doctor ringside, it could be the safest motherfucker in the world and still get a concussion.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you're throwing around your fucking body, dude.
Not only that, but they may not even recognize in that moment that they have a concussion.
Oh,
and the other person might not be aware enough to recognize it either. And in that case, that's when the doctor's important. The doctor is watching for that. That is their job.
Yeah, and a perfect example is if you've ever played football or around fighters, people don't know where the fuck they are when they're knocked out. You know, you could be knocked out and be like, it'd be in the middle of a football game and be like, I gotta go pick up my sister at the bus stop. Like, what the fuck's going on with you, buddy? What's going on inside there? And that's why too, like mixed martial arts, when they stop it real fast, you'll see them wrestle the referee or, you know, a doctor or not know where the fuck they are.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at that point, you need a doctor to make that decision.
Or even what's his name? There was a fighter I was just reading just recently. He got asked after the fight, and he had told him, he was like, he admitted, he's like, yeah, I didn't know where I was. I just told him I was like Abu Dhabi. And then when they when they pressed me, he's like, all right, I don't fucking know. The desert?
You're like, I'm in some fucking desert. There's some fucking people over here. I don't know. What is Vince McMahon, Mike Tyson, and Eminem and Undertaker all doing sitting next to each other? This is fucking crazy. But yeah. So, I don't know. I think it adds to wrestling while not keeping their toughness and their warriorness about them. And
I think the downsides are just so minimal.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, no chair shots to the head. Yeah, these are small steps. But a doctor being there, and a legit trained doctor, unlike, did you see that one MMA clip where the doctor's like, what happened? He's like, I got punched in the fucking dick. He's like, no, you didn't. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I fucking know I got punched in the dick.
No.
Yeah, I think it was kicked or something. But like the doctor was trying to convince him he wasn't kicked in the dick, and like people were like, "It's on the replay. He was kicked in the dick." Get a clever doctor.
No, he wasn't. I checked my phone. I didn't see it. You're good. Keep going.
I was like, I was playing Toon Blast. All right, so I don't know. Overall, a good thing, and be safe, kids, while still being warriors. All right.